Hi, and welcome back to Thone's 1 Peter Nibbles, number 64, Submission to Masters, part 4 of 9, Our Calling. And this all comes from 1 Peter chapter 2, verses 18 through 25. We're to be following in the footsteps of Jesus. And you just contemplate that for a second. Why is this in the Bible? Relating our call to salvation in a very effective way to also lead us into the next steps, strengthen our lives as we now step into the service of the Lord. So remember the order of things. Belief, salvation. Then after salvation comes a bit of education, and then after that comes discipleship outward to others to serve the Lord. Communication. We follow Jesus' pattern, and this is related by John MacArthur in his study Bible, and the implications of verse 21. You have been called, and the call is always in the New Testament epistles, is the efficacious call to salvation. Peter's point is that a person called to salvation will sometimes at least have to endure unfair treatment. Commendable behavior on the part of the believer in the midst of such trials results in the strengthening and perfecting of the Christian on earth and is increasingly eternal capacity to glorify God. For this purpose, patient endurance, leaving you an example. This word example literally means writing under, as was a writing put under a piece of paper on which to trace the letters. Thus, it's a pattern. Christ is the pattern for Christians to follow in suffering with perfect patience. His death was efficacious primarily as an atonement for sin, but it was also exemplary, set as a model of endurance in unjust suffering. So God leads us with, be ready to bravely take the next step, understanding that that next step may be one which will cause you problems in a worldly sense later on. My response: Lord, thank you for your loving support after salvation to encourage us to serve you in the most effective way. So it's a voluntary dip into the kinds of rejection that Christ received as he worked his way toward Calvary, his death, his burial, his resurrection, and therefore our salvation.